Fox 61, Connecticut's news station, starts with a weather impact alert.
And now it's 10. We start on the forecast. Things heat up tomorrow, and the added humidity could make it especially rough. That's why our team has issued a weather impact alert. So thanks for joining us. I'm Sarah Sanchez.
And I'm Brent Harden. The heat is not the only concern either. Strong winds and rain could move in as the day progresses, and there is a chance for severe storms. So much to talk about. Let's get right over to Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank for the latest. Rach, how hot is it going to get?
High temperatures will get up around 90 degrees, but it's not just the temperature, as you guys mentioned. It will be the humidity as well. And when you combine both, it makes it harder for your body to cool off. And it could feel like up to triple digits for some away from the Connecticut shoreline. So there is a heat advisory in effect for parts of the state, 11 a.m. tomorrow to 8 p.m. And it's just the National Weather Service's reminder to limit strenuous activity outside. This is one of the first hot and humid days of the season. So sometimes it takes a minute to acclimate. But with summer heat and humidity, yes, also comes the threat for storms. And we're watching the potential for severe weather, at least in parts of the state. I don't think everybody will see a storm tomorrow, but some of the storms that do develop could contain some damaging winds and some hail. So if you are by a pool, lucky you tomorrow, just make sure that you're staying weather aware. We have a couple showers that are out there right now and a few more heading in tonight, which is actually nice to have some showers before the heat arrives. We'll begin the day with some fog and low clouds, then we break for sun, and then we'll watch those storms fire up as we head through the afternoon, at least for some of us. Taking a look at high temperatures, again, we're up near 90 degrees as we head through the afternoon with that weather impact alert for storms starting after 4 o'clock. We'll get a closer look at all of this, your full forecast, and believe it or not, it gets even hotter next week coming up.
All right, Rachel, thank you. And our team is here to help you navigate the heat. Stick with us on air, online, and on the free Fox 61 News app. You can also catch our forecasts on Fox 61 Plus. Well, new tonight at 10, solidarity on the streets of Hartford as dozens gathered to remember a man hit and killed by a car.
It's the second pedestrian death this month, and people at tonight's vigil want the town to do something to prevent another one. Fox 61's Kate Pattyfoot reports from West Hartford.
I'm standing just steps away from where a tragic crash unfolded earlier this month. Behind me is the intersection where police say John Marzak was trying to cross the road where he was hit and killed. I also want to point out it's where the sidewalk ends on this side of South Main Street. Police say the driver involved took off after the crash.
We have lost a really good soul.
Another pedestrian death in West Hartford. Police say on June 6, John Marzak was hit while crossing South Main Street. After spending 4 days in the ICU, Marzak died from his injuries. Katie Lance is on the board for the group Bike West Hartford, a nonprofit that advocates for road safety for everyone. She was among those saddened to hear what happened to Marzak.
It's tiresome to keep hearing these stories. It's very hard to know, we've committed to Vision Zero as a town, but these things keep happening on these roads that we know are dangerous, and we know there's ways to fix them.
On Wednesday, a vigil was held to remember Marzak.
You only go around once, he always used to tell Mom, be him.
His mother, Julia LaFlame, was among those who spoke about how he would be remembered as a kind soul.
Seeing him every day. I used to bring him Dunkin' Donuts coffee in the morning before he went to work, and we used to chat, and then I'd say, okay, I've got to go now, have a good day at work. And then at night, we text each other every night. Good night, I love you. He'd say, good night, I love you more.
West Hartford Mayor Sherry Cancer says this incident is heartbreaking and the town is working to make the road safer. But she says it will take everyone's help to do that.
It will take a lot of changes in education, change in behavior, and pedestrian and bicyclists have to follow the rules of the road as well, and they have to be visible. It's really important.
Police arrested Juan Novoa in connection with the hit and run crash. An arrest warrant details when police questioned him about the crash. He told officers he did see Marzak, but he went on to say, quote, "I'm on the road, I'm a vehicle, I have the legal right to be on the road." Police say this crash is still under investigation. Town officials and Bike West Hartford are using this crash and many others as an example for the need for immediate safety measures like installing speed cameras. In West Hartford, Kate Pattyfoot, Fox 61.
Okay, thank you. New reaction tonight to the effort to fix Connecticut's real estate market as Governor Ned Lamont weighs whether to sign off on a housing bill that supporters say would help address the more than 100,000 home shortfall the state currently faces.
Not everyone's on board with the bill, though. Fox 61's Stephen Reels shares what realtors and buyers are facing and what the governor's decision could mean.
According to Realtor.com, the greater Hartford area sees some of the lowest housing inventory across the nation. This new bill, House Bill 5002, some say that it could potentially offer a solution and promote some market growth in our state, while others worry that this could be a detriment and potentially take power away from local government.
You're selling more of the existing inventory, so inventory goes down, meaning there's fewer homes.
That's the issue Connecticut currently faces, according to realtor Bennett Forrest at the Miali team with Keller Williams.
Not only find a home, but to compete and win bids versus the many other buyers that are looking at the same home.
The issue, Forrest says, started back during the 2008 housing crash, after an estimated 4 million homes were not built to help meet the growing demand. Fast forward to 2020 and the period of time when people wanted to move during the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. However, there were not enough homes to go around, and that's led to a different kind of housing crisis today, according to New Haven Mayor Justin Elicker.
People are paying way more than a third of their income on housing. That's a real problem. New Haven's really been leaning into this challenge. We're doing everything we can to develop as fast as possible.
It's part of the reason why Mayor Elicker pushed Governor Ned Lamont to sign off on House Bill 5002, which he says would help incentivize towns to convert properties into residential units and require towns to responsibly plan for housing growth and more affordable housing. Mayor Elicker says the goal of this bill is to ultimately tackle the crisis in a more statewide approach.
At the end of the day, this is a good bill for the state of Connecticut, and I'm optimistic that the governor will do the right thing.
However, not everyone is on board. Despite passing the House and the Senate, the bill has attracted criticism from groups like the Connecticut Conference of Municipalities. CCM Executive Director and CEO Joe DeLong said in a statement to Fox 61 in part, quote, "This bill imposes a top-down model that threatens to strain local resources and marginalize good faith planning already underway at the municipal level," end quote. The bill currently sits on the governor's desk, and Governor Lamont will have until the 24th to decide whether he signs off on it or vetoes it. If he does neither, that bill will become law, according to the Connecticut General Assembly. In Hartford, Stephen Reels, Fox 61.
Well, new tonight, the U.S. Marshals say they've arrested a man in Connecticut wanted in a murder case dating back over a decade out of Ecuador. 50-year-old Richard Cabrera was taken into federal custody Tuesday in the town of Oxford. He's suspected of stabbing a woman to death in Ecuador back in 2011. Interpol had a red notice out on Cabrera ever since, but authorities say Cabrera was living here in Connecticut under an assumed identity. He is said to be in the country illegally and is now in the custody of Immigration and Customs Enforcement.
Glastonbury police are sharing new details about the disappearance of a retired police detective who hasn't been seen for months. Tonight we've learned she was found buried under debris from hoarding conditions inside her home. Police were called to the home of 73-year-old Mary Notrangelo last summer for a welfare check, but officers couldn't find her. They say there were huge piles of garbage inside the home. It wasn't until February when her remains were found near the front door. The report was only made public today. Officials say her cause of death could not be determined.
A new charge for a former West Hartford teacher accused of inappropriately touching students. 46-year-old Nicholas Ricciardi of Manchester has been charged with risk of injury. He was first arrested and charged in January for allegedly inappropriately touching a student at Solomon Schechter Day School, and now investigators think there was another victim. Ricciardi is out on bond and scheduled to appear in court next week on this new charge.
Hartford police say they arrested a Broadbrook man during an undercover child exploitation sting. Investigators say 36-year-old Kevin Maynard believed he was talking to a 14-year-old girl, but it was actually an undercover detective. Over several weeks, he allegedly sent explicit messages, photos, and videos. Police arrested him without incident today.
After 2 trials, a jury has found Karen Reed not guilty of killing her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer. Connor Hansen has more on how they reached that verdict.
Is the defendant found guilty or not guilty?
Not guilty. An emotional moment inside a Massachusetts courtroom as Karen Reed hugs her legal team. And outside, a crowd of people cheered.
I could not be standing here without these amazing supporters who have supported me and my team. No one has fought harder for justice for John O'Keefe than I have.
Reed was accused of hitting her boyfriend, John O'Keefe, a Boston police officer, with her car and leaving him for dead in the cold. Her defense team and supporters accused corrupt investigators of framing Reed to cover up the true details of O'Keefe's death.
We've known the truth for years now, and we don't even know how this case has gone to trial.
While Karen Reed was found not guilty of murder and leaving the scene of a deadly accident, she was found guilty of driving drunk, receiving a sentence of 1 year on probation. The verdict comes almost 1 year after Reed's first trial ended with a hung jury. Not everyone was pleased with the outcome. A joint statement that included a witness who was with O'Keefe the night he died read, quote, "While we may have more to say in the future, today we mourn with John's family and lament the cruel reality that this prosecution was infected by lies and conspiracy theories spread by Karen Reed, her defense team, and some in the media."
Connor Hansen reporting Reed's not in the clear quite yet. She still faces a civil lawsuit filed by John O'Keefe's family.